And just because I don't technically have Jewish family that are blood related to me, it doesn't mean I don't take this as seriously. And it is very dangerous, very dangerous. And I think we all collectively as Americans on both sides, and what Ilhan Omar is saying is very scary to me, and it's very scary to a lot of people. And I don't think you have to be Jewish to recognize that.
Hi everybody, my name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're finding something of value here. I truly do. Okay, so I think that this is important. You guys know that I'm not part of the bash Trump bandwagon. I'm no fan of Trump, but I don't go on endlessly about how horrible he is. Because we have important things to talk about. There's plenty of people talking about that. If that's what you want to focus on, then it's easy to find that. At the same time, when certain issues are discussed, it's such a twisted, black, people want to just say it's black and white, and it's so twisted and messed up that I feel that you have to step out, like when we're talking about war, when we're talking about war crimes, people are like, oh, the U.S. military can do no wrong, and it's like, you've heard me talk endlessly about Barack Obama and his drone strikes, because that was important to talk about, and it needs to be equated to, what it means to all of us, to children around the world. Now, what we're talking about today is Donald Trump saying that the Democrats are the anti-Israel party.
I thought that vote was a disgrace, and so does everybody else if you get an honest answer. If you get an honest answer from politicians, they thought it was a disgrace. The Democrats have become an anti-Israel party. They've become an anti-Jewish party.
Okay, now, normally, Donald Trump says tons of stuff. So you're just like, whatever. But this is a deal. I don't like him looking at you and lying into you and looking into your eyes like this is the most trusted, upstanding person on the planet. I don't like anybody taking their trust, their position of authority, and hanging it over you to say things that are blatantly untrue in order to, mess up an already convoluted discussion. Okay, we're talking about Ilhan Omar and her saying that there's an issue with loyalty in the Congress. And it appears to be an odd thing that's going on, that so many members of Congress are so, blindly loyal to Israel. And that maybe we should have a discussion about that. And for some reason, that seems to infuriate all sitting members of Congress. Just about. Just about. I mean, their hair is on fire. We have to have a resolution. We all have to have a discussion about this now. And then here comes along Trump, and he says that the Democrats are the anti-Israel party. And I think that if anyone believed that that was true for a second, Democrats could probably get a whole bunch more voters. So, because they would, at that point, they would be interested. But I want to talk about this other thing. Okay, Amy Klobuchar explaining today, just a couple hours ago, that that members of Congress are advocates for foreign countries. Okay, and this bothers me a lot too. Okay, number one, let's finish the Trump thing. There is no way that the Democratic Party is the anti-Israel party. We all know that. Okay, Donald Trump is looking at you and lying to you because he has zero respect for you. And this is the problem. He takes his position of authority and he spews crap like that in order to twist an already extremely important argument, discussion that needs to be had, into like trying to put the death screws to it. Oh, because now all the Democrats have to step up and answer that they're not the anti-Israeli party. How about Mr. Put America First is concerned with who the people are that are actually putting a foreign country first, instead of actually being so concerned about who in Congress is pro-Israel? Mr. Put America First? How about that? What happened to that, Mr. President? I'd really like to know. Okay? This isn't a game. Okay, you want to be the Put America First president, then you better fucking put America first. Because we see through your bullshit. Excuse me, I didn't mean to go quite that loud. Now, that being said, Amy Klobuchar, a couple hours ago, talking about how sitting members of Congress advocate for this country or that country. And here's the deal. You know, I think that we should question people who are advocating for other countries when we see what's going on in our country, when we see how many people in our country are hurting, how much our infrastructure is falling apart, how much our treasure, our blood is being wasted on an empire that's just complete and utter bullshit and completely unsustainable. And these people in Congress all hold that in place firmly. Without their support, it would end. Now, Ms. Klobuchar, I don't know which foreign country you might be advocating for yourself, but I bet it's not Great Britain. I bet it's not Australia. I bet it's not China or Russia. I bet it's not Poland. I bet it's not France. I bet it's not South Africa. It's not South Africa, right? Bet it's not Uganda, right?
I did not agree with what the representative said there, because I believe you can be true to your country and advocate for another country, whether it is Israel or Canada or Ethiopia. There are many Americans that feel strongly that they love their own country, but they advocate for, maybe it's the country of their own ancestry, or maybe it is another country that they care a lot about. So I didn't like what she said there. But what I do believe is that the president has ignited, in his own way, a string of things against other people, right? It is everything from, we see anti-Semitism on the rise to anti-Muslim rhetoric on the rise. And I try to go back home and look at how we've handled some of this.
And one more thing, you know, the reason that I'm so concerned about members of Congress who advocate for foreign countries is because members of Congress who advocate for foreign countries do things like pass bills that say, if you boycott this country that we advocate, that we all advocate for, if you boycott that country, we will put you on a list. In doing so, limiting your freedom of expression. Because it's not free if their government is keeping track of who is saying things about a certain country, boycotting a certain country. Okay? It is not free speech. You are not allowed to talk about that. The Senate just passed that bill. You're not allowed to support the boycott, divest, and sanction Israel movement in your social media, or this government will put your name on a list. That list at this time means that you are no longer allowed to receive government contracts. That's what that list means. But But that's what it means at this time. In some future time, it could mean you need to go to the re-education center. Don't you know? And that's the problem with all their lists that they've been building for all these decades, for, you know, the last 20, 30 years. But that's digressing. Okay, I want to stay focused. The problem with a sitting member of Congress who advocates for a foreign country, besides the fact that we should be putting America first, and there certainly isn't enough energy being put into what America needs from these assholes in Congress. I don't think so. They have, what, an 18% approval rating? I think that's on the high side of what they have. Okay? If you're advocating for a foreign country, and then you vote to limit the freedom of Americans, of U.S. citizens, who you swore an oath to protect their rights, your loyalty should be challenged. It should be questioned. There is no doubt about it in my mind. And I hope some of you hear what I'm saying and understand and believe that way too. Because it is not okay to limit my freedom because you're advocating for some foreign country. That just made you an enemy to the Constitution and my rights. So you know, Ms. Klobuchar. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. And I hope you're finding something of value here. Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like you. If you'd like to leave a tip or a donation or some kind of contribution, there's a clickable link in the text body of the video. Below this video, there's clickable links, or you can go to moxnews.com, and there's all kinds of stuff there. Or you can go to the front page of the Mox News channel, this Mox News YouTube page, and right there in the banner, right in the bottom of the banner, there's little clickable links to the GoFundMe and all that stuff. Okay, so thanks very much for tuning in. My name's Mike. One of these days, this war is going to end, but we got to get some better people that are representing us, don't you know?